Hey, welcome back to QZ Stories, the place where real drama meets shocking revenge. Today's story is about power, greed, and a quiet old man everyone thought was finished, until he revealed a secret that destroyed an entire empire. Trust me, you'll want to hear this one till the very end. The glass doors of the company swung open, heels clicking like gunshots on the polished floor. Karen, the CEO, walked in with her usual storm of arrogance. Sharp suit, sharper tongue, and a reputation for crushing anyone who slowed her climb. In the lab, Henry sat at his desk. White hair, thick glasses, a limp in his walk. He was the company's living archive. For 30 years, he had poured his genius into machines, formulas, and devices that carried the company to greatness. He wasn't just an employee. He was the foundation. But Karen didn't care about foundations. She cared about speed, image, profit. That afternoon, she stormed into the lab. "Henry," she barked, "pack your things. You're finished." The engineers froze. Interns avoided eye contact. Henry blinked in disbelief. "Excuse me?" "You heard me," Karen hissed. "This company needs vision, not dead weight." Her words cut like knives. Henry's hands trembled. Decades of loyalty, gone in a single breath. And then, leaning closer so only he could hear, she whispered, "Don't waste time with lawyers. Every patent, every design, you signed it all away. You have nothing." Henry said nothing, but deep inside he knew something she didn't, something he had prepared for years ago. He picked up his old briefcase and walked out, his limp echoing through the silent lab. Workers stared after him, caught between anger and fear. What no one knew was that Henry had been keeping a secret, a dangerous secret. If you were Henry, would you stay quiet or fight back against a ruthless CEO? Write in comment box. That night, Henry sat at his small kitchen table. Shelves lined with dusty notebooks surrounded him. Sketches, formulas, ideas. His life's work. He unlocked a drawer and pulled out a faded folder. Inside were patent documents. Not the ones signed over to the company years ago. No, these were the originals, quietly filed in his own name. Back then, he had known someone like Karen might come along, so he had protected the crown jewels. While Henry studied his papers, Karen was in the boardroom, smirking at the executives. "Henry is gone. No more delays. We'll launch the new devices next quarter and triple the stock price." Nervous applause followed. Only one manager, Alex, frowned. He had admired Henry, learned from him, and something about the firing didn't sit right. Later that night, curiosity got the better of him. He searched the patent database. His heart nearly stopped. The company didn't own the patents. Henry Wallace did. Alex leaned back in his chair, whispering to himself, "She just fired the man who owns the company's soul." And in just 2 weeks, Karen was about to announce those stolen inventions to the world, without realizing Henry was watching. 2 weeks later, the grand hall glittered with investors, reporters, and flashing cameras. Karen strode onto the stage, beaming with fake confidence. "Ladies and gentlemen, today begins a new era for our company." Backstage, Alex handed Henry a schedule of events. Henry adjusted his glasses, his limp heavier than usual, but his resolve sharp. He sat in the very back of the audience, nearly invisible. The crowd roared as Karen unveiled the revolutionary device. Cameras flashed. Investors leaned forward, hungry for profit. Reporters typed furiously. That's when Henry rose from his seat. Slowly, painfully, but with a strength that silenced the room. "Excuse me," his voice rang out. "That design you're presenting belongs to me." The hall froze. Karen forced a laugh. "Security," she snapped. But Henry held up his folder. Patent certificates. Official. Legal. Cameras zoomed in. Screens lit up. Gasps spread like wildfire. Whispers turned into shouts. Reporters swarmed the stage. Karen's confident mask cracked as the audience realized the truth. But the storm that started in that hall was nothing compared to what was waiting in the courtroom. The courtroom was overflowing. Reporters squeezed into every seat. Investors lined the back wall, their faces pale with worry. Karen sat at the defense table, hair frizzed, eyes flashing with desperation. Henry sat across from her, calm, briefcase by his side. Years of quiet patience had led to this moment. The judge examined the documents. Mr. Wallace, the patents are indeed filed under your name. The company has been violating your rights. Karen slammed her hand on the table. This old man is lying. He signed everything over. The judge's voice cut through her protests. The evidence is clear. Mr. Wallace is the rightful patent holder. This company has no legal claim. Gasps echoed through the room. Reporters scribbled furiously. Cameras clicked nonstop. Karen's face drained of color. She begged, threatened, even offered Henry millions to hand over the rights. But Henry simply looked at her, calm and unshaken. And when the final verdict was read, Karen's empire didn't just crack. It collapsed completely. The ruling hit the business world like an earthquake. "Fired engineer owns all patents," screamed the headlines. Stock prices crashed. Investors abandoned ship. Karen was forced out, her empire stripped away overnight. Henry didn't celebrate with champagne or riches. That wasn't his way. Instead, he used his victory to build something lasting. He founded a trust for young inventors, ensuring they would be protected from greedy executives who exploited talent. His limp remained, his glasses thick, his house modest. But his spirit was stronger than ever. He had proven that true power doesn't come from money or titles. It comes from knowledge and the patience to use it wisely. Karen vanished from the business world, her name whispered only as a cautionary tale of greed and arrogance. One evening, Alex visited Henry. "You really destroyed her," he said softly. Henry shook his head. "No, Alex. She destroyed herself. Greed blinds people." He sipped his tea, the faintest smile on his face. For 30 years, he had been underestimated. But in the end, he walked away not as the victim, but as the man who held the blueprints to everything. Never